Welcome to my apiary. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's the afternoon of October 24th, 2021. It's 6C out here, and there's just a very slight breeze. It's not enough to really make me that cold, but you know, I do have my jacket on, my old torn up jacket. You know, this goes with my my merchandise theme of holy and torn clothes. So I have a little bit of an issue here. I set up to do my oxalic acid vapor. What I've done is I've gone around and taken one screw out of these panels, lowered them down, because I shoot my oxalic acid through kind of the back corner of these colonies. I've got other videos on that, so everything looks a little cockeyed. I've got my new Laura Bees vaporizer. I'm going to try that out today. Really looking forward to seeing how it works. I've got 10 cups for that thing. I ordered 5 spares, so I'm not sure I need 10, but if they wear out or if I lose them or something, I'll have spares. Got my old OAV Provap 110. I've repaired it a couple times. I've stuck the tube out the top this time. It doesn't need to go down to the bottom, except for clearance if you're vaporizing through the bottom board or something, which I'm not. So I stick it out the top, and that makes the tube much shorter and more robust, because it was always breaking at the bottom and getting clogged because it was rather long. And so I got it all plugged in. I've got my long cord, and over here behind the stack of boxes is my noisy generator. Well, it's not going to be noisy today because it actually ran like this. My fuel line broke right off. The fitting broke right off there, so you can see it was leaking fuel. It was leaking fuel, so that won't do. So what I've done, this is a very good alternative method. It's just a lot more walking and whatnot. Generator is usually a viable option. I've actually strung out enough cord to make it all the way over there to my building. Way over there. It's a couple 100 feet or more, maybe 300 almost. So this was a brand new one in the box, so it's nice. I've got a whole bunch of nice 12 gauge extension cord, so the losses won't be sufficient enough to make this not work. I've done this before, so I know it works. So I'll plug my long cord in here. So now I've got that plugged in there. My long cord Provap's plugged in here. I've got a 2-way, a 3-way actually, if I want to run these two together. I'm not sure I can. I'm not sure that would buy me anything. I just want to try this one. The one thing that I'm looking for an improvement on is this is 250 watts, okay? And this one is 380 watts. And because I said it's 6C out here, and a small breeze. The one thing about the Provap I've found is it really doesn't recover very fast. I've typically wrapped it with a muffler tape. I've got that in the shop. I've had to take it off for repairing it. I've had to take that apart a few times to get it working properly. So I'm going to see how it works here today. OEM against OEM. We'll see how they perform, how long they take to recover, and all that kind of stuff. Alright, I got the Provap heating. I walked my I walked my cord set up a couple times looking for why it didn't work. I got my tester here and the cord worked fine. Just that I lent this out to somebody, I think it was last spring, and I come back and the cord is not reliable here. It's not making contact. I'm probably going to use the Lorab. It's likely faster than the Provap, but I want to get a baseline on how long this thing takes to do its job. So it's funny the things you miss when the generator's running. I can't hear the Provap clicking on and off, but I can hear that now. Oh, God. So the temperature on the Provap bottomed out at 159°C. It leaks really bad around the bottom. There's lots going in, but there's lots coming out here too. That's really terrible. So I've noticed by the time it gets to 210, then it's all done. That's 210, and that's clogged. Probably clogged because it's coming out here instead of there. Oh, look at that. Doesn't even all in there. Oh well. Let's try the Laura. Now this one is Fahrenheit, so I don't really know how the temperatures compare. It says the set point is 400 F, so it's 200 now. I bottomed out at 325. done. This one's got a on-off switch on the side, which is kind of a nice addition. It's not that necessary though. But I'll let it sit. I need to get some gloves. Well, here's the latest surgery on the Provap. Boy, this thing's getting long in the tooth. So first of all, I have to wrap it because it doesn't heat properly in a cooler climate than obviously the manufacturer is in. And I say cooler, but it's only, we're usually treating about 5 to 8 degrees C. But this really speeds up the treatments. You can't really see it, but where this bowl meets the base, it's just a press fit, and then the heating element clamps around that. That leaks like a bugger. You can see the residue here from the leakage. So I've redone that. I've taken it off a few times and cleaned it and put it back on there nice and snug, and I don't know. But the more problematic thing is the cord broke. The cord broke right there, right where it comes out of the handle. It broke. Just broke internally. And to confirm my suspicions, I just cut the insulation off, and you can see that conductor is broken. I mean, you can tell, right? You wiggle it around and it kind of works, and then it doesn't work. So, fixing that up. This thing is a bear to get apart because it's kind of snapped together and glued and everything. So you have to be really careful. This thing slides out the front. Just pry it at the bottom. There's the bottom. So you pry it at the bottom. They've actually got a video on their site, YouTube channel about that, but not about this whole thing. Now, I've cut the wires off here. I'm gonna splice that, chiefly because I've been trying to pull this out of here, and it's glued to the top, and I don't have, like, there's a ground terminal here. I don't really want to replace that, but I'll splice this, it'll be fine, and then put it back together. So that's just the latest surgery on the Provap. I don't know how many hives I've treated with this. I don't know how many years I've had it. It sure is expensive. It does save you money over, Apivar, formic acid, that stuff. But it's certainly not been without trouble. You can see the copper tube goes straight out here. I've modified that, kind of in consultation with the manufacturer, and he didn't caution me not to do that, so we did that because the tube going down inside and then coming out, that bend at the bottom was, it's not very strong. So you put that in a hole in the hive, and it eventually breaks off. Plus the fact that this tube is far shorter. It's a good inch and a half shorter than going down and coming out, so it doesn't clog as quickly. It stays hotter here, so it doesn't clog as quickly. Anyway, so that's the latest surgery on the Provap. Hopefully I get to actually treat colonies today. Alright, I got the Provap back together. I haven't tested it yet, so who knows if it's going to work. I'm pretty confident. Now, I'll just give you a little tutorial on getting this apart. I'm not giving you a tutorial on how to fix this, or even that you should take it apart. You're dealing with mains power here, and that is your own deal. I do not recommend you dealing with mains power unless you're a professional. So you got to spin this little fitting off of here, and then spin that one out of the handle. So pull that back a bit. You don't have to pull it back far, because you're going to be pulling that cord out this way. You stick your little screwdriver in here. Not a little one, get a good size one. Give that a pry. That module will pop out of there. It's got circuit boards that plug in back here. And you see I've got electrical tape. This is not meant to service, obviously, so I've had to run some electrical tape around it to hold it together. Because the next step is I just pried along each side here. The thing about it is, and don't mess with these screws. These screws don't get you anywhere, so I'll leave those alone. The issue is that the little case that this thing slides into, goes in here, and they've used a two-sided tape to glue that to the bottom side and the upper side. Now, when I took it apart, I kind of had to pry that thing off of there and get it unstuck from the bottom. I left it stuck to the top. Okay, so once you do that and you get that apart, then you'll see the wires and you have access in there. So then you can take your cord, you can, you know, undo the terminals or cut the wires or whatever you want to do in there. I'm not going to tell you how to do that and what you should do. And then you need to get the wires wrapped around the side of this little box because there's no room under it. So make sure the wires go beside it. You have to cut this label because it goes in the middle of the seam there. And then put it back together and get it to stick together somehow. And that's about it. Plug it in. See if it lights up. Boy, if it doesn't light up, I'm not going to be too happy. Oh, look at that. Okay, well, I don't want it to get too warm, so I'm going to unplug it. Okay, I got work to do. We need to treat the bees. So thanks for watching and have fun.